Fight Time Network. Welcome back to Fight Time Profiles. And this evening, we got Cody, the CodeBreaker, Linne. He's the APFC Flyweight Champion, 9-1 as a professional, fighting out of VFS Academy and Rothwell MMA. How you doing tonight, man?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. So where did you grow up?
Grew up originally in Zion, Illinois. It's right over the border. Kenosha, Wisconsin is where I live now. So not too far. I actually just moved out not that long ago and been on my own here.
So what is your favorite strike or submission?
Strike or submission? I mean, if you have to go strike, it's kind of basic. The jab is number one. The jab. If you don't have a good jab, it's gonna be hard to make it right. And the higher level you get in MMA, it's like you gotta control people more, and it's easier to control people and get to the back and go for a choke rather than spinning for an armbar. But yeah, I don't know anything really. If I'm putting you to sleep or breaking something, makes me pretty happy.
So through your amateur career and professional career, what is your favorite experience so far?
Hmm. Honestly, I feel like so far would be winning the APFC belt. My flying knee knockout was cool. I just feel like the atmosphere and everything that went into winning the belt, like going the 3 rounds almost until I submitted them. The venue, it was downtown Milwaukee. All my friends, family there. Just the energy afterwards. It's just that's some kind of replay in my head every now and then, and it gives me goosebumps to think about. And I really enjoyed having that moment.
Hell yeah. So what or who inspires you the most in being a fighter?
Um, I think it's more of what I feel like, and I think that's just the competition, not so much as in like, I gotta beat this guy or that guy. It's kind of the competition within myself. I always want to prove to myself like I can get better. I'm gonna get better. It's like the challenge behind it that keeps me motivated. And then having like a task at the end of the day, so the date, like November 17th, having that kind of pushes you, and you have to be better at this date. You have to be the best you, and it's just that competitive of against yourself and making sure you're always improving.
What do you believe is the best attribute you've obtained so far other than fighting from mixed martial arts?
I think the discipline. I really think it's in my overall life. There's like again, I'm assuming it's from mixed martial arts, like that's where it fed through. But I'm very disciplined with everything I do. Obviously with like eating and stuff, but just everyday life. Like it's just the discipline of just making sure everything is how it's supposed to be, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Who's your favorite athlete of all time?
Favorite athlete. I mean, it might be kind of like cliche, but I don't even really count him as an athlete. But David Goggins, just his mindset. I really like listen to
Gotcha.
him and what how he goes about things, and especially like obviously where he started. Everybody knows his story for the most part. And now where he's at now, it's really inspiring. But
So what's your favorite hobby outside of mixed martial arts, like when you're not in camp?
I still make sure I balance it. But like going out with my girlfriend, like trying new foods and things like that. Just like going to restaurants. I say that's one of my hobbies. Besides that, it's kind of just hanging out with friends, family, just doing things I normally can't do in camp.
You're actually ranked number 8 in North American rankings. You feel that's a good, accurate spot in the rankings for you?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure exactly how Tapology does all that and like how they gauge it, but I feel like that's fair because, again, I feel like I look at it, the guys in front of me, and like I do feel like I can beat them and this and that, but I have to prove that still. Like I've beaten some tough guys, but
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like especially with Roy, like now there's not a tough challenge, and now I beat him. I feel like I should jump up a couple spots, but I think it's good, because I need more challenges and in the more cage time to prove myself, and I think that's a fair spot for me.
You have a fight coming up November 17th, Anthony Pettis Fighting Championship 14. It's your third title defense, man. It's badass. What do you believe Roy Burt's gonna brings different compared to everybody else that you've defended your title against so far?
I think his biggest thing is his experience. One, he was on Dana White Contender Series, right? So that's obviously like he's felt that bigger stage. He knows what he wants to do, and he's good at it, right? So it's gonna make him dangerous. But I think his biggest attribute he's bringing in is just that experience.
Fair enough. So looking on the other side of things, what holes do you see in Roybert's game?
Um, I'm not gonna necessarily go into deep detail, obviously, with
Yeah.
that, but there are definitely some things he's better at than others, right? And I think everybody, if you watch his fights, you can see same with me, right? That's what he's doing, right? He's looking at my holes, things that he sees in my fight. But I honestly don't like always looking too much at the fights itself because you haven't really seen all my grappling, all my striking, all my wrestling, and I'm sure Roy can say the same thing, right? I'm
Right.
sure he has things he does and he's good at that we haven't seen yet. But there's those little tendencies that we see that we're gonna try and exploit and get the finish with.
Okay. So you don't have to go in too much detail or deeper how you want to. So what kind of has been a focus for this camp? I mean, anything mentally, doesn't necessarily have to be physically. What has Cody, and maybe just not the fighter, been working for to focus on this camp?
So I feel like I have a good base now. Like it's solid. I've put on a lot more muscle mass. I used to walk around like 135-ish, and now after my fights I'm up towards like 150, like I've put on that mass. So with that being said, it's like I feel like I can take less focus. I still do obviously the conditioning, all that, but I can
Right.
take less focus on that because I have that base now, and now I can focus again more on my technique and drills that I need to focus on more the MMA aspect, which used to be kind of like okay, we use camp to get in shape and do all that still kind of game plan, but not as much technique because there's so little time. And then outside of camp, I do technique. But now I feel like I have a really solid base everywhere and mentally too, so I can like kind of just put all my focus on the technique and the game plan. And I feel like this camp, I've really done that really well, and I've made a lot of improvements.
What can we expect to see from you on November 17th, man?
Yeah, I mean APFC just posted about it, right? Like
Yeah, oh
I'm a
yeah.
finisher, Roy's a finisher. We both know that, right? We both want that highlight. We both want that finish. So I this is gonna be a really good fight for everybody to watch. I don't think anybody's gonna take a step back. We're always gonna keep putting the pressure. So for me, you can expect to finish like always. That's always what I go in there to do. I'm not there to just win on points, right? I try and go for the finish every second of the fight.
It was nice getting to know you, Cody. Can't wait to see you perform on November 17th. That's another Fight Time profile for you all. See y'all next time. Fight Time Network.